see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboy fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face.
Oh, I'm from Brooklyn.
Hey, guys, any...
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
And good morning, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. I am your host, Bo. Pags is on the way. He had a meeting this morning, but he will be here momentarily. Jay is still not feeling great, so we will see him when we see him. And, of course, StatGuy is always a question mark on when he will show up. So, other than that, we're going to kick you off with, I don't know if you've seen the footage this morning, but out of Baltimore, Maryland, the Francis Scott Key Bridge got hit with a cargo ship this morning. They are still looking for 20 people that were on that bridge. It was a complete collapse of the 2-mile-long bridge. So sad situation out of Baltimore, but hopefully they will be able to find all the people. It was reported that it was a power loss and a fire on the ship. And if you watch the video, you actually see the ship lose power multiple times before it hits the structure. And then soon as it hit, the entire bridge went down. So thoughts, our thoughts are with all of those there in Baltimore. And obviously anything that happens to come to light while we're on, we will report. Although we are a sports show, it definitely is noteworthy to take a minute and acknowledge those people. And then wanted to report on the Seattle Storm are building a center of basketball performance. It'll be the first women's professional basketball facility that is specifically for the WNBA players, which is a very cool thing. And then in honor of, women-owned businesses, the contractor Selin and the Seattle Storm were all coming together for not only women-based employees. That is a women ownership group that owns the Seattle Storm. And of course, there's a bunch of women that were contracted on that design team and within the field work that is going on. So very cool. Awesome to be a part of that. We are working on our credentials. So hopefully on May 14th, we will be there to help report on the Seattle Storm moving forward. It'd be good to have a little bit more coverage of the WNBA. Obviously, there's pushback of how people feel about women's basketball. But I mean, at the end of the day, incredibly talented. The Seattle Storm has 4 championships in the WNBA. So very cool. Looking forward to becoming, able to be in the building and report live from there. Other than that, we are getting more information about Ohtani. He did release a statement, and some of that was he did not regret anything that had been going on. So curious how that will hit, but let's see. My notes closed on that. Give me just a second. And where did my notes go? Okay, there we go. Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, sorry that I'm running behind.
Oh, no worries. As soon as I started to talk about Ohtani, my notes closed. So, we're off to a flying start here. But,
Gotcha.
Basically, he had said that he didn't regret anything that had happened. So I'm curious how that will be received. But yeah. So, and then of course I opened up with the Francis Scott Key Bridge getting hit by a cargo ship this morning. So
yeah, did you see that thing? That thing crumbled quick.
yeah, I mean, it went straight down. They hit that stanchion and it was over. All the reports say that there was a fire and power outage. And then if you watch the video, they lost power multiple times before it hit.
Right. And I'm surprised that they didn't have that coming in via tugboat. Like tugboats weren't involved in that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a barge though. Like it was a full-on cargo ship. So I mean, that's far enough out that I think it's probably normally fine. I was surprised that they didn't have some stanchion barriers that it would have had to run through before it actually made contact with the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like that's all concrete. They usually have the concrete that's there before it hits any of the stanchions, and boats don't typically have anything that's out beyond the thing. So, I mean, I watched it this morning. I was like, wow, first off, that boat was moving really fast, which means that it could have been time lapse just in general on the video.
So that was a time lapse video. It probably was moving right along though, because you see them when the power kicks back on the first time. They really throttled that thing up, right? Like you had black smoke rolling out of that thing. So, but they had already been turning towards the bridge, so they probably throttled it up to try and get it to turn. And
right.
Then you gain a little bit of speed, and then they immediately lost power again. So all you did was increase the rate that you were approaching. But yes, the video was a time lapse video.
Well, that they should have put it in all reverse and turned the rudder. Like that's what they would have done. If that's a full reverse, turn the rudder, and it would have started to make the turn so that the back end could have maybe hit it. But it went face first. So
it squared up, and then by that time it was far too late.
Yeah, and that's 95, right?
What's that?
That bridge.
I forget which highway that is. The only saving grace is how early it was.
Yeah, well, it was like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, because you see cars zooming by on that thing, but you don't see a lot of cars on the bridge. And then the whole bridge was like boom, 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 down.
Yeah, exactly. So reportedly, there's still 20 people missing. So we'll see. We'll see how it comes together, but pretty crazy sight though.
It's 20 people now. It was 7.
Oh, okay. Well, so the initial reporting that I saw said 20. So we'll, obviously as more time passes, we'll find out. But
yeah, it's a shame. Thoughts and prayers go out to those people, because that's sucks. That straight sucks.
Yes.
And I got to imagine that captain is probably not feeling really good about himself either.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what do you do? Like, if you end up with complete power loss and a fire, I mean, you're not in control of your ship anymore.
That is correct. You are not in control of the ship. But yeah, well, either way, they're not going to be taking that bridge anytime real soon.
That is very accurate. Yep. There is definitely that. How's it going, Chris? Have fun on vacation, man.
Yeah, he's going to. I think he's at the Golden Nugget in Atlantic City, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So,
right on. God
bless him. He gets to go out there on vacation and doing his thing.
Speaking of gambling, get out there and buy your Mega Million or your Powerball and your Mega Millions, because Mega is 1.1 and the Powerball is 800.
Did the Mega Millions actually? Didn't that go off yesterday?
No, it polls today, doesn't it? Yeah. They poll on Tuesday and Friday, I think is what it is. So their drawing should be today.
Gotcha.
So it's 1.1 billion, which would be like a little over 500K as a cash out, or I mean a 500 mil.
Gotcha.
So,
well.
I might throw $1 at it.
Well, you'd have to throw $2
or $2
because it's $2 per ticket.
It shows you how often I do any of that, right?
Yeah. So it would be $4 all day when you have to buy both.
That's right. All right. Well, $4, whatever.
There you
I'll
go.
probably kick in that because 500 mil I could probably make the numbers bump together with. Like I could probably do all right.
I tell you, the fight would be out of me. No more fights. The fight be gone. I'd be like, okay, guys, vacation.
Yep.
For the rest of my life, I would be, I'm going to games if I feel like going to games, but
yep,
all the fight would be out.
Yeah, like I might still do this, but I'd be looking for sponsors a lot less.
Actually, you'd probably get a lot more sponsors because you have that money now.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely would.
All of a sudden, I'd be having the private jet take us to where we want to go and be like, all right, here we are.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'd like to win, but I don't have any, visions of grandeur. Now, you know what? See, I don't believe that only seniors win the lottery, but I will tell you that only people from California win the lottery. And there's a reason for that because the people in they are funding California solely with these.
Oh, no doubt.
That's why you always say, hey, we found that out last time, right? Two winners from the same gas station.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just showing now. It's like this is all fixed. So that's what I say. They should fix it for me. I'm almost a senior now. I could get my AARP card.
Yep.
I'm over 50. But so yeah, that would be awesome. Hey, just have me win it. I'll just get my ticket across the street at the 7-Eleven so that 7-Eleven could get its fair share, and because I don't want to give it to Wawa. No Wawa. But so anyways, other than the bridge coming down, let's see if there was anything happening in the world of sports other than Ohtani.
There wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot to kick this thing off.
You know what? They decide to pay the MLS referees. They're getting paid now. So the lockout's over.
Nice.
Big deal. That was a big deal. So, excuse me 1 second while you're looking up some more. I just got to, do a quick thing with my daughter.
No problem. All right. So I had a soundbite for Ohtani. Unfortunately, can't find it at the moment. Oh. This might be it.
Of the 72 centers designated by the National Defense.
Okie doke. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
Daughter's got a doctor's appointment, so I had to get all the details on the.
I got you. I think this is the.
That sounds like the interpreter.
So this is.
So I never bet on
Oh, here we go.
baseball or any other sports, or never have asked somebody to do it on my behalf. And I have never went through a bookmaker to bet on sports.
本当に数日前まで、彼が、そういうことをしていたっていうのも、全く知りませんでした。
Up until a couple days ago, I didn't know that this was happening.
結論から言うと、彼が僕の、口座からお金を、盗んで、なおかつ、みんな、僕の周りもそうですね、みんなに、嘘をついていたっていうのが、結論から言うとそういうことです。
Just to kind of just go over the result, in conclusion, Ipe has been stealing money from my account and has told lies.
で僕は彼の借金返済にも
So We'll see how that plays out. But it's hard to think that he was not somewhat knowledgeable, because I mean, based on the numbers that we're talking about, I feel like you would notice millions of dollars disappearing, right?
Yeah, but I also think that if by chance he was able to win that parlay,
Sure.
that
Slide that
$10
money
million
back.
parlay, he'd have a lot more money, and all that money disappeared plus the $4.5 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of money. That's an awful lot of money going in and out of the accounts.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying. I mean, it'd be hard not to notice those kind of fluctuations in your account. I mean, even if you have $100 million, you know, that's still a chunk of money.
You know, yes, it is. However, you know, I know how I spend money, and I
Sure.
don't have millions of dollars, but I also don't check my account all the time.
Okay.
You know, so sometimes I have 10,000 plus. Sometimes I have $10 plus. You know
Sure.
what I mean? It's because it goes up and down depending on how I'm spending money.
Yeah.
But I don't ever look at my account.
I got you.
So taking out $4.5 million, like paying via the card or Venmo, like how's he Venmoing that money over there? Like where do you get? Like, are you going to the bank and saying, "Hey, I got $4.5 million, cash, please"?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is you're going to need authorization to get that volume of cash. Like, it's not like somebody snagged your debit card and they went and bought a pizza, right? They're not going to call you because you spent $40. $4 million, the bank is going to be like, hold that thought. We want some 2-part verification here. Like,
yeah, $4.5 million is not many people have that right on hand. Now he could.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does, based on the amount of money that he makes playing ball, plus endorsements and all of that. There's no doubt in my mind that he has $4.5 million liquid. No doubt. But the thing is even if it's cash sitting in an account, they're going to want some verification before you try and yank that out.
Yes. Yeah, I think that this is all bullshit.
Yep.
I am calling bullshit. And I think that ultimately, I heard one guy talking about it today on TikTok saying, what's going to happen is that Pete Rose is going to get reinstated.
That is never going to happen.
Because by reinstating Pete Rose, you no longer have a lifelong ban by gambling on baseball.
That sets such a horrible precedent. There's no way they do that.
I agree, but that's the one what this guy said. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure that that's going to occur. But I mean, in fact, Pete Rose said something. I was watching somebody else that he was sitting right next to Pete Rose and says, "Wow, if I had an interpreter, I'd have been off scot-free."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Shut the frig up, you stupid piece of shit." You know what I mean? That's it's like the reason why you're an asshole is for that reason alone. Maybe just said, "Hey, man, I feel bad for the guy." That's all I would have needed to say. Hey, man, I feel bad for the guy. I know what he's going through.
Yep.
End of story. You could have looked contrite there. Might have actually worked in your benefit to look like you are empathetic a little bit.
Yep.
But no, you're a friggin' asshole. That's your problem, Pete. You're a friggin' asshole. So that's why nobody likes you. Nobody wants to deal with you, and nobody's going to let you back into baseball until you're dead.
Exactly.
And since only the good die young, you got another 20 years of dealing with this BS.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was the ultimate douche canoe of a statement. So yeah, no, he's never going to get reinstated. If this does get linked to Ohtani at all, it's a wrap on his career. How's it going, Sonia? Yep. And then gonna hang out on her show Thursday, actually. So that's gonna be
Nice.
fun. Yeah. And then BS all the way. That is true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the odds of him having no idea based on just the dollar figures we're talking about seems highly unlikely.
Well, yeah, I agree with that statement, except for, if you're Otani, is your name going to be on that account with your interpreter?
Probably not.
That's what I'm thinking. So Pete's
Does he
going
have
to show up.
access? Maybe. Pete may
Pete's
show up on
gonna-
that would be amazing. There would be so much hate on that show because of people that would be calling in to hate on Pete for showing up.
Actually, there'd be a lot of love for Pete if he showed up here. I can imagine.
I
They
feel like
would
it'd be
all
a
hate
real
on
thing.
me for me talking the smack I just did.
I feel like there'd be a real mixed bag.
There would
They'd be
be.
calling in for Pete. Like people, there'd be no gray area. People would be calling to bury him, or they'd be calling to try and bury us. One of the two.
Right. It probably wouldn't be too hard to get him on.
Yeah, maybe.
But, and I would definitely call him, like, listen, Pete, I know you don't know me, and it doesn't matter what my feelings are, but I think you're just a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You could have solved this problem so much easier, but you chose to be the asshole that you are. So you get what you pay for.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that's funny. Anytime you listen to him talk, there's two obvious paths you could take. There's the one that you should take, and then there's the one that he takes. And like anytime you could make the wrong decision, he does it every time. So at least he's consistent, I guess. But I mean, you're just like, oh, this is the obvious path. Just be like, oh yeah, like you said, I feel bad for the guy. I know what he's going through, whatever. But instead, he's like, oh, I should have had. You're just like, shut up.
Right. Yeah, exactly there. And that's why nobody likes you. That's why you had the mail order bride from Japan or China come over to marry your ass. Or it's just be the girlfriend because you're too much. Well, I don't even want to get into that either. So. Who knows how their relationship really is? I just know that he is, he was an amazing hitter when he played.
No doubt.
And from what I understand, he was a great teammate when he played. It wasn't until he thought that he was better than baseball and started to manage and play and gamble and all this other stuff. I don't know. Anyways.
Now I kind of want to see if we can get him on. I think that'd be hilarious. I don't think he'd be on very long, but.
Actually, I think he would be. He would be on for a minute because ultimately he would get angry and he would start yelling at me.
No, exactly. Yeah. That seems like one of those, video game rage quit kind of things. Like I feel like his monitor would just like drop at some point.
Yeah, Chris, we know it lost power twice.
Yep.
It was able to regain power the first time and then lost it for good that second time after they tried a hard rudder right, and it didn't rudder. So, but again, that's where I thought. Yeah, normally I thought when you're going past bridges and stuff like that, that you have escorts from tugboats, and I'm going to find out. I'll get to find out about that because in my living room there are a number of tugboaters.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So this is a tugboat bar. So if you're a merchant marine, you probably know about Dolan's when you come into port.
Right on.
So it's like I'm going to ask about that later. I'll have an update for us tomorrow. Once. I
mean, if it wasn't general practice there before, you can bet it will be moving forward.
Well, now there's not a bridge, so they could probably just.
I mean, I have this feeling they're probably going to rebuild that. Maybe one a little more structurally sound. I guess that one gets shut down in high winds a lot.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Well, the way that it crumbled.
Yeah, I mean, it went right down.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there wasn't. like even the other side, I understand that when you lose a big weight, all of a sudden that it can levers itself, but like that other side just was like, bam, bam, boom. You know, it was like, really? I'm like, was there anything other than it just being held up by that stanchion? So it was. It was being held up by the stanchion. It wasn't even attached to it. So it's like it was. There just seems like there's so many different things wrong with that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it seems like what was crazy about it is I was reading that because hazmat materials aren't allowed to travel through the harbor, that's the path they would take. So I mean, that could have been a really crazy situation.
yeah. And like it says, it's not 95, right? That's
I'm not sure which highway that bridge was offhand.
there we go. Is the key bridge? I guess it's been asking a lot. 695.
Okay, so it's a highway. Yeah.
Yep. The Maryland Transportation Authority says all lanes are closed in both directions on 695.
I would hope so. Man.
Yeah. So, yeah. Otani bet that the boat wouldn't hit, so he lost more money.
Right.
He's like, I think he can make it. That bridge ain't going down.
I feel like his interpreter was the captain of that ship.
No, that was the guy. It was the captain from that Costco ship. He found another job. He's like, yeah, I think we can make it. Was it Scanetti, Scarpetti, or whatever his name is? That he was the one that wrecked that Costco cruise ship, and he was the first guy off.
That's right.
No captain going down with this ship. Freak this ship. Everybody else is going to die. I'm out first. Damn. I tell you, that's the type of love you get on this type of show. It's all only the best stuff here. Pete Rose love, and Bridges and Merchant Marines. Let's see any other stories that are
trying to see if there was any other movement in the NFL. It looks like everybody's still kind of holding fast with the other free agents that are out there.
So the Falcons are saying that there was no tampering.
Okay.
See, that's where you screwed up there, Arthur. There was nothing intentional. See, that's not the good. That's not the good wording. You needed to be prepped better than that. You needed to be prepped better than that.
So here's one that's kind of interesting. Colorado football coach Deion Sanders has a warning that in the 2025 draft that some players may decline teams and pull in Eli Manning. So that almost sounds like he's coaching his kids up to do that. So that is that's interesting.
That is, you know what?
Says, I know where I want them to go. So it's certain cities that it ain't going to happen. Gonna be an Eli.
You know what, though? That is kind of interesting. So, and they did the new kickoff. How's it going to be?
Yep, that did pass.
I'm not a fan of it, but.
Nah, I had a feeling it was going to do it because it's the only way to resurrect a section of the game that they've essentially killed. I mean, as it's over the last couple of years, the kickoff game was basically not part of the game anymore.
There we go, Chris. Well, go hit the NFL slots. I'm sure that you'll win lots of money because the NFL is big on giving their money back through slot machines.
Well, it's a nonprofit, so they want to distribute any profits.
Right, through the slot machines.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this whole thing, but again, why not just have it at the 40-yard line and punt?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I get your point on it, but I mean, at this point, it does get rid of the fair catch type of thing on the kickoff. So you're going to see a lot more returns.
Yay.
I like the return game.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's just the way that they're setting this up. So ultimately, if you break through that first line, you could go for a touchdown.
You could, which would make it a important play now.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of it.
Well,
because it's not what it was meant to be.
Well, I mean, all things being equal, you don't have to have all your guys go down the field. Like there's going to be some coaching that happens here that you're going to have guys that are going to hang back a little bit and be part of the contained team. I mean, you're going to get some strategy out of this now that you're going to get returns again. So, I mean, you didn't need special teams coaching or kickoff really, over the last few years. Now, because of the way they have to line up and how this is going to go, you're really going to have to coach these guys up, because if everybody just goes full blast and they get that through that first line, yeah, you could take it to the house. So, I mean, they're going to have some creativity on both sides of the ball to try and get bigger returns. And of course, try and keep people from breaking through. So, I mean, it'll make it so that special team coaches have an important job to do again.
Okay, we'll see. I think that this, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not a fan. Don't really like it. I think that they should just go to the punt, and that would be the way to do it. Just say it's 4th and 15 on the 30. You're going to punt it from there, and ultimately it's a free range punt, so you can punt it right from the 35. So like the defense can't move unless you're making a play. But when you call hike, you either punt the ball or you call hike, and then that starts the play. But that gives you your 4th and 15 too, and that's your onside kick.
No, I mean, I like where you're going there. But I mean, either scenario would be better than what we currently have.
Well, and I like that better because truth of the matter is that you would have probably a lot more onside kicks.
Sure.
You're going to have that 4th and 15 play going on. And I wonder how often that play would hit.
I feel like the percentage would be higher than an actual onside kick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But that's not going to happen, at least not this year. They're going to just do this whole XFL thing or USFL thing.
Yep. Yeah, it's a hybrid of what the XFL was. So we'll see how it works.
They pushed the trade deadline back another week. So now it's following the week 9 games, not the week 8 games.
Oh, interesting.
So you get 1 extra week for the trade deadline. They didn't tell me. They didn't say, like I did get the email, but it didn't say specifically how the new rule on the hip tackle is going to, actually play out. Morning, bottom line. It didn't really show a good explanation on that whatsoever. Let's see. Nothing else is happening. I tell you, this is so.
Now this is a really slow start to this week, which you kind of knew it was going to be, right? Like there's nothing notable in baseball quite yet. There's what hockey is not quite to where we need it to be. Basketball is still, I mean, outside of March Madness, I guess, we're to a spot in free agency where the guys that are free agents it's going to be a lot harder for them to get picked up. So just because now we're on the downhill side to looking at the draft. So, teams that are potentially might be looking more into the draft than the free agent pool. Yeah, we did talk about the hip drop tackle a little bit more yesterday. And I mean, ultimately, it's going to be really hard for defenses to actually tackle, especially if you're closing in on somebody from behind or a side. You're almost going to have to watch a guy go into the end zone if he has the line, because you won't have an angle to take him down any other way. So I don't love where it's headed. It looks like most players don't love where it's headed, but the NFL owners unanimously approved it. So I don't know. We'll see.
So, all right. And it says, the Pat McAfee show says, yeah, it's like I'm trying to find something that would actually give a good explanation.
Oh, of the hip drop, what it is they're looking for.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen anything that shows that yet.
Yeah, let's see if ESPN says anything good about it. And
they might actually still be working on official language for it.
Yeah, because I mean, there's been a lot of people that said, "Hey, a hip drop tackle is just a tackle."
It is. If you're coming from the side, like that is, like if a guy is running and you're coming in, if he's coming and he comes in this direction, there's not another way to make that tackle. Like that is the correct way to tackle somebody. Now, if you roll across someone's legs in the process, obviously that's an unintentional thing, and you are, there's always the opportunity to get hurt, but it's a contact sport. There's opportunity to get hurt on every snap. So it basically means if you are coming from the opposite side and you have a bad line on them, you're going to watch them score, because either that or you're going to get the personal foul, which is probably still better than them scoring. They'll just get an extra, 15 yards is probably what it is. Although you're undoubtedly going to end up with a $50,000 fine if you do it.
So it's saying that there were 230 instances of this tackle,
sure,
where 15 players missed time as a result.
I mean,
the league played a video during a news conference to show 6 specific plays in which the hip drop tackle was used in games. Drew Sample, Tony Pollard, Tyler Boyd, Geno Smith, and Ryan Tannehill, all being on the receiving end of the now illegal hit.
Yep.
So that's...
Yeah, so you're not wrong, their bottom line. It has to do with someone hanging onto their hips and swinging all your weight. Correct. But the thing is that is actually the only way you're going to get somebody down if you happen to be coming in from the side and they have already passed you. So that's just going to be natural momentum as you wrap them up. You're going to roll across them. Like that's just physics. I mean, so in that scenario, I guess you're not allowed to tackle them, because you can't go high, you can't go low. And if you already have the bad line on him, I guess you just have to watch him walk in the end zone.
Or do one of them shoestring tackles where you...
Yeah, you swing it foot and hope they trip themselves. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Especially as a DB. Like he has so much size on you. I guess if you go and wrap him up and he runs through you have to let go. Right? You got to be like, oh, just kidding. I don't want to tackle you. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be weird to watch them officiate this rule.
Yes, it will be. I guess we'll learn very early on because they're going to, this is going to be a big rule in the preseason.
Yes.
You'll see it called all the time.
Yeah, it'll certainly be a point of emphasis, and it's going to be kind of ridiculous, I would think.
Correct. So, Robert, I know that you are dying to try to make this gamble. Like I said, you already owe me pizza money. You're already going to owe me pizza money. So, I'll tell you, I think that if we don't win the division, we'll be the number one wild card like we were last year. That's what I think. And I think Seattle won't make the playoffs because they are worse than they were last year. So
no doubt. Yeah,
you're going to owe me a lot of pizza money because I like pizzas with gold flakes on them. So, but anyways, but realistically, there's no chance that Seattle has a better record than us or goes further in the playoffs. I actually have the Phillies winning the last game of the MLB season.
Yeah.
Which is
got them getting them a ring, huh?
Game 6. I think that's Game 6.
Okay.
Just my opinion. They are looking way too strong across the board. So,
we got running back Damian Harris calling it a career, 27.
Where was he playing?
Let's see. It looks like he is with the Bills. And Patriots. So I think he was with the Bills last. And then I did see that speaking of running backs, that Zeke is still a free agent.
Oh, that's not a big surprise to me, but
not at all. I feel like you could probably get him for a league minimum now, though.
Oh, here we go. Here's something to mention. I'm glad that I even looked this up because I was like, the UFL starts this weekend.
Yeah. That is this weekend, isn't it?
The Birmingham Stallions will go up against the Arlington Renegades, 1 p.m. on March 30th to kick off the new UFL League.
Awesome.
Week 1 will showcase 3 other anticipated affairs, including the Battlehawks of St. Louis going against the Michigan Panthers at 4 o'clock on the 30th. The DC Defenders going up against the San Antonio Brahmas. I don't even know what a Brahma is. And the Memphis Showboats at the Houston Roughnecks. Each team will compete at their own home stadium. How about that?
Yep.
And anybody who wants to attend that DC Defenders game, do not take the Key Bridge because it will not be there.
That's awesome. And of course, the Stallions and the Renegades, they were the respective champions from the 2 leagues, as I recall.
Oh, the Brahma Bull. Yes. Okay. That's the bull with the really long horns.
I got you.
They're Brahmas.
See, that's why it's good to have the research division in the comments section.
If it's a Totino's, I want the Sicilian cut. Damian Harris, not really amazing. Yeah, I didn't really know who he was either. The Brahma Bull. Thank you there, Mom. I appreciate that, Mom. Mom went to quick Google on what the hell's a Brahma.
Yep.
And what's been up with StatGuy? I wonder where he's been at lately. He's been
MIA. Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. Like I feel like that he's got in trouble or something. He must have got arrested in Detroit.
Oh, was he still in Detroit?
I don't think so. He looked like he was back home. When he does his the podcast from the lounge chair, it looks like I think that's from back home. I don't know. I'm not certain, but
so I guess here's a sports related question for you. How does Angel Hernandez still have a job? Because we've already seen pictures of him about to go ruin some people's games. And like, I really just can't wrap my head around, like, he's wrong as much as a weatherman. And it just makes no sense to me.
well, it's funny. There we go. He's Angel Hernandez. He's 62 years old. He kind of screws up more than anything else. Here it is, April 9th. He kicked somebody out after making a really bad call. I saw that. That was recent. He lost his lawsuit versus MLB because he sucks so bad that they won't let him do any playoffs.
Which he shouldn't do regular. He shouldn't do like peewee style, like little league baseball.
So there is, I don't understand how he has it. I'm looking for somebody who actually has done the research and literally showed all of his bad calls. There's something on change.org where they have a thing signed by like over 10,000 people to fire him.
Rob, the Cam Sutton one was a domestic abuse. Aggravated battery, I believe, is the official warrant that was out for him. And the Lions did release him subsequently as soon as that was released.
And yeah, it's not saying that. There's nothing that I can find that tells me that he is, all of his bad calls. I mean, everything's right. Hey, he tossed Lance Lynn twice out of a preseason game.
Wow. I mean, if we were going to do all of his calls, like, it would have to just be the entire show for the next week and a half.
Yeah.
Of 2-second clips. and he could fill it.
It's so bad that like, nobody there's so many that nobody can even do it. And he's the lowest rated umpire in baseball.
I believe that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every time you see that he's going to be the guy and it's one of your teams playing, you're just like, ugh. Like, strike zone's not going to be consistent. He's going to call people out in weird ways. He's going to toss someone that, turns and's like, what was that? He's like, gone. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, he's...
You need to have a guest hater show. The people that call in that hate our guests.
Vince Young getting knocked out in a bar fight list. I did not see that.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, that didn't blip on my radar.
It's kind of awesome though, because I'm gonna look that up now.
Yeah. So I mean, you got Angel Hernandez in baseball. There's a number of them. Like, there's a number of people that are just not well liked in baseball, across the board. And then you think about the ones in football who are not well liked. And it really came back to just like, hey, obviously Ray Rice, he didn't get to play again after all that was done. They tried to
that was probably one of the most ridiculous videos ever.
Right.
But the thing is this is where, the NFL only cares about their brand. And because if you gamble, immediate suspensions. They were trying to brush that thing under the rug until the video got dropped.
Right. And that was what, TMZ, right? TMZ dropped that.
Yeah,
Somebody got paid a lot of money.
no doubt.
Probably the hotel. You know, somebody in that hotel got a lot of money because that event ultimately probably got him fired too.
Yes. I mean, that dude probably made quite a bit of money on that deal. Which, you know, to get, I mean, I don't know. I guess if I'm the hotel security, I don't know what I'm making there, but maybe I don't care if I got fired.
Well, then you also get blackballed from doing security ever again.
True. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
the other part of that. So
the dollar figure would have to be significant.
you know, and is it just me or do I mean, I've never had anything that I thought TMZ would want of mine. You know, I've never been in the right place at the right time with my camera going well enough to be able to take something like that down.
Sure.
I kind of imagine TMZ ain't paying that type of money.
I mean, I don't know. TMZ, they got some deep pockets at this point.
What's happening?
Prison sentences.
And the China Football Association president, that means soccer, right? I mean, assuming that's
got to be, yeah.
Because I did see a picture recently on all of the countries that are being that have NFL football teams attached to them. For instance, Australia and New Zealand have two teams attached to them in a real way: the Eagles and the Rams.
Okay.
You know, I don't know why the Rams, but you know, New Zealand and Australia, absolutely, because of Jordan Mailata, and the Eagles are always really big on taking Australian and New Zealand punters. So there's always been a few of those guys that have been on the Eagles. You know,
I got you.
the Eagles also have Ghana.
Interesting.
I didn't realize Ghana was a big football area, but I guess there may be some big people up in Ghana.
Yeah.
You know, but they have all the different countries like Brazil. You know, the Eagles are going to Brazil, but Brazil is actually the Patriots and the Dolphins are big in Brazil.
That's interesting.
West Coast, the Rams do Japan, China, you know, Mongolia actually is on that list. You have like 8 teams in England. You know, like, I mean, like the Steelers were the last one, but Germany's got big on the Seahawks, obviously, and things like that.
Well, and when you're looking at Mexico, like the west coast of Mexico has a lot of Seahawks. If you're looking at like Mexico City, they like the Steelers quite a bit.
49ers
too. Yeah, they got 3 or 4 teams that Mexico City, you know, has a pretty good following for. But you know, 28 million people there too. So
yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah. And it was interesting to see all the different teams. I just, like I said, it caught me off guard when I saw Ghana. I was like, Ghana? Really?
no, that one's interesting.
Not what I would have expected. Let's see if I can pull this back up on Instagram. See, there we go. You know, it's interesting because I just saw the tugboat. My tugboat buddy has got, you know, he put something out for all those that lost today. That's a big deal there.
Yep.
Oh, that's a big one. It's Kylie's birthday. 23rd? No. Her birthday was the 23rd of March. Today's the 26th. So, happy birthday 3 days ago.
Yeah, this one was interesting, Rob. So Utah women's basketball had to move hotels because of racial slurs, which that was pretty crazy.
Damn, I'm just watching that again. The boat going in, and
that thing crumbled like it was made out of toothpicks.
Yeah, it did.
Like it was crazy because you thought that maybe it would tear at the other stanchion, right? And maybe part of that bridge would have stayed up, but I mean that thing just folded.
Yeah, and like when it broke, and that's when the other side, it was like it was all cantilevered off of each other. So,
yep,
it really is a shame. But it went down fast, very fast.
You know, I guess if there was any saving grace to this at all, is the fact that it happened really early in the morning. So there was the least amount of possible people on that bridge. It was crazy that when you look at where where the ship hit, right? Because I mean, it basically squared up on it, and it came down right on the very tip of that ship. It's not like it, had enough power to like drive through that stanchion. Like it punched it, and it did all that damage, right there at the very front of the ship. Like it'd be one thing if it had
construction on it too.
What's that?
Were they doing construction on it? Because there's like a bunch of flashing lights on that as I'm looking at this in the center of it.
Let's see. I still have the video up somewhere.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm going to find it real fast and we'll show it here on the.
Let's see. Oh no, those lights flashing are
behind.
Oh yeah, what is that?
Looks like they're doing.
Yeah, it does look like there's service vehicles up there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless they are like scout vehicles for when it was supposed to be going underneath to make sure it clears.
Damn, and that boat's still there.
Oh yeah, they're not going to move any of that. Like they're going to do their investigation. So I mean, that's going to be that's going to be there for a minute. So if you're in the area, your Amazon packages are going to be late because they are stuck on that boat.
Exactly. I mean, it's a. Yeah, everybody's like, I could download it and show it on here. I'm just trying to find something that's not fully marked. Yeah, this might be the best one.
Yeah, I was going to say, you wouldn't even have to download it. You can just screen share.
Yeah, so let's do it then. This way. There we go. Share screen. Share. Are you seeing it?
Yep.
See if
Yeah, so you can see they just got.
That's actually a close view. I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, so they just got power back up. You can see them rolling trying to fire that thing up, right? Like it's just, and then it loses power right there. And then when it comes back on, there's nothing they can do. Like they are, like they're there. So I mean, because they have power here, but I mean that's a lot of mass to try and stop that fast. And then
It actually looks like it's started to turn.
Yeah, I mean they were throttled up, right, as it came in, and then they lost power again as soon as it hit anyway. So I mean, they ended up losing power like 3 different times.
Yeah, that ain't pretty.
Yeah, because there's the first
Yeah,
time.
that's the first time losing power.
And it's
then
already
you see all these cars
drift.
moving back and forth pretty quickly, but
Yep.
What time was this?
And then powered up, and you can see them throttle up right here, right? Like they're trying to do something, but it's just still spinning right towards the bridge. And then power goes out again. And then they're almost squared up to the bridge now. Power comes on. And then right as it makes contact, they lose power again. So, I mean, there was something, seriously wrong with that boat.
Yeah, they almost made it. Looks like they almost made it. Because we see the backside
when you're looking
of it.
When you're looking right there in the middle, it definitely looks like it has, police cars, service vehicles of some sort, which is why I think maybe they were, service vehicles as far as making sure that the height was going to clear the bridge in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
Crazy.
Scary. That is scary. All right, Robert. You win. Let's do it. We'll do it after our station identification break. So we will be back right after these commercial messages, and we will do our MLB predictions, division by division, to see how much Robert is off and he doesn't know about baseball. So please stay tuned after these commercial messages.
I mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboy fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face.
Oh, from Brooklyn.
Hey, get it each.
Trisha's having a sleepover tonight. Can I go?
I wonder about Lucy's friends. What should I say? I know you're only 10, but one of these days a friend will offer you a drink. And alcohol at your age can lead to so many things. None of them good.
So can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me
I
something.
finished my homework.
Bigger promise. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you. Your real friends won't care. Deal?
Sure.
Really?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov, a public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Sometimes, all you need to change your life is a sign. A sign that says, "Hank, this is the place you've been looking for." And sometimes that sign is an actual sign that's mounted to a building. 1 second, I'm looking at a sign. I know what you're thinking, and no, I don't love V-dubs just because I'm a buffalo with wings. Frankly, that's offensive and reductionist. Cause this place, come on. It's like they took beer and made it into a place and then gave that place sports and chicken wings. And the people, Cuba, the best.
Oh! What the is going on, Marty? This isn't a game. This is trivia.
Yeah, this place is kind of like heaven. You know, without needing to get hit by a bus. Let's go, sports bar!
Supporting the needs of our veterans. That's the goal of all of us at Team AmVets. Like Mitch, Carlos, and Kevin from our Welcome Home team that brings furniture to our vets.
We are Team AmVets.
Or Linda from our thrift stores who brings you great bargains every day.
I am Team AmVets.
And John, who picks up your thrift store donations that support California veterans programs.
I am Team AmVets.
Visit our website or Team AmVets thrift store to donate or shop today.
Join the team!
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
And here we are back with our second hour of Coast to Coast, where this hour we are going to find out exactly how bad Robert is about. I'm sorry. Yes, we should do that.
You should do the promo.
Yep. It's not anywhere near me. That's why I had to do it. So here we go. We'll do the promo. Let me get rid of your statement there so that. And here we go.
What's up, everybody? Philly Sports Guy here. And are you a hater? Are you somebody who does not like anything that I do? Are you somebody that is always coming onto my page and talking smack? You're the one I want to talk to. April 1st, I'm having a show where you get to tell me face to face why you don't like the Philly Sports Guy. You know what? And I'm going to let you talk. I'm going to let you get it out. I'm going to talk about your feelings and why it is you don't like me. Hopefully we can come to some type of resolution. Because you're just going to be a hater. But come on to my show, Coast to Coast, April 1st. Link is in this bio over here. Let's go, Philly Sports Guy. Yeah.
There you go.
Man, that's going to be hilarious.
Because you asked for it, you get it.
That's right.
So, anyways, yes, we are going to do the MLB predictions because Robert asked for it. So, here we go. Let me get up everybody's. I want to make sure I have everything correct.
Yep.
When I'm dealing with this, and everybody's right, because I'm pretty good about this whole thing, but of course they got the cactus and the grapefruit leagues right now, not the regular leagues. But that doesn't matter. We're going to start off. Here we go. MLB.com. There we go. So we can get everybody set up the proper way here. Division by division.
Yep.
And we are going to start with, we're going to come from you guys.
Going to go for the West first?
West, East.
Okay.
All right. Interestingly enough. Okay. AL West. That was where the Texas Rangers were the winners last year, correct?
Yep.
Seattle came in third or did they come in fourth behind the Angels?
Man, I don't remember. They didn't finish strong, so they might have finished fourth. They finished way out of it. I know that. Um,
All right.
But yeah,
Well,
I have the Rangers winning this one. I actually think the Astros pulled it off at the end. I think, is if I remember Jay saying that.
you think the Rangers? I don't think so. I think the Rangers don't make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Okay.
But
so you think the Astros get it then?
So yes, I do think the Astros do it. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a fight for, like, who do I think is going to make the playoffs in total in the AL? That's kind of where it comes from. So ultimately, you'd have to go back east. When I think of the playoff teams out of the AL, I think the Houston Astros are going to win the West.
Yep.
I think that the Guardians are going to win the Central.
Okay.
And then I have the Orioles winning in the East.
Yes, I had the Orioles, and then I went with the Twins. I went with the Twins for the Central.
Okay. I mean, and I think it's ought to be close. They usually are really close.
Mm-hmm.
But
and I know the Mariners missed by one game, but they were out of it for a while. Like they clawed their way to that, but like they didn't play good football or good baseball. They definitely played bad football.
So, Rob, here we go, Rob. Since you are the one that's talking the most here, here's who I have going in the AL. I think that it's going to be the Orioles, the Guardians, and the Astros. And then who's making the playoffs? Do the Blue Jays make it this year? I just don't know that they do.
I see. I think they do. I think they're a wild card team one more time.
So you got the Blue Jays. I mean, I think that the Yankees are probably going to get in under a wild card.
Yeah.
And then this is where I get a little bit, because I kind of feel like, see, and I don't know enough about the Twins, but I think that the Royals actually have a really good pitching staff.
All right. I mean, I could see that. I could see the Royals sneaking in.
Yeah, being the number six team in there out of the AL. So I think that's where it is. You got the Orioles. I think that they're going to win the pennant from the AL. I got them in the World Series.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an all East World Series this year.
Okay.
Well, Leon, that's perfect. You don't have to stay. Yeah. Or just back on April 1st.
Thanks for stopping by.
So there, Robert.
So
who do you
I got Atlanta in the NL East.
So we haven't done the NL yet.
Oh, okay.
We're still on the AL side.
I got you.
Okay, you got Tampa winning the East, the Twinkies in the Central, and Seattle stealing it from Houston. That is definitely somebody who's a homer. That's right? Homer talk. That is Homer talk, Robert. All right, so Robert's got Tampa, Twins, and Seattle as the winners. Who's going to make it as wild cards there, Robert, in the AL? I'm not exactly sure who's on the Twins. The power of manifestation. You need a lot more people manifesting it than you do, Rob. That's exactly it. But you got them winning the division, so that means you got Houston. Houston, I'm sure, is one of the wild cards. Who else is a wild card team there, Robert? Because I'm going to save this, and we're going to see exactly how far off you are.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to think that Houston's in that mix.
Who else do you have?
I had Houston instead of the Yankees.
So, well, all right. So I happen to have Orioles, the Guardians, and the Astros winning the division, with the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Royals getting in.
Yeah.
So you have Houston, White Sox, and Baltimore. White Sox and Baltimore. So, yeah, the White Sox ain't gonna make it either. They ain't got nothing close. But I've been wrong before, but not that wrong. So you happen to have the Yankees beating the Orioles. You have the Yankees winning that division.
What's up?
You have the Yankees winning the division.
No, I had the Orioles, the Twins, the Rangers, and then my wild card was Blue Jays, Astros, Royals.
Orioles, Twins, Rangers, Astros,
Jays,
Yankees, Blue Jays,
and the Royals. Yeah, I don't have the Yankees in.
Huh. All right. So, yeah, I got the Astros winning the division. That's really the only difference. But everybody's got Houston in the playoffs. Two of us have the Blue Jays. I think Rob is way out of line, but that's fine. That's why they call this America, because we can have difference of opinions. With the National League, so here is where I think that the Dodgers don't even make the playoffs.
Right.
They're going to go the same way as the Mets did last year. I'm going to say that for me personally, I think the Braves still do win the division.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't see them like they're just built for the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I got in that middle, I've got the Brewers. The Brew Crew going to win that division. Dare I say the Giants? Dare I say the Giants? I'm not a fan of the Giants, and I don't think that even their signings, Snell is going to do that. But I just look at this. I look at the West as such a shit show.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and say that the Diamondbacks actually are going to scrape it out.
That's what I had. That's what I had
D-backs.
for the West.
So that means in the playoffs, who's going to be the wild card teams? I got Phillies as the number 1 wild card.
Okay.
I don't know why I have a feeling on the Reds.
Okay.
I have a weird feeling that they'll probably be the 6th wild card, like that number 6 seed, which is going to put, I guess, the Padres. I'm going to call the Padres. I just don't think that the Giants have enough, and it's such it's such a mess out there in the West. The Dodgers spent all that money to find out that they are nothing better than the New York Mets. The Padres still have ego problems. the Diamondbacks clawed their way into the 6th seed and wound up getting into the World Series and then blew it. So I think that that's going to carry over a little bit. The Giants, they have a couple of good pitchers, but do they have anybody batting for them? Is there anybody worthwhile, even a name that I can think of that bats well for them?
Not that I can think of, really.
My one surprise team who could knock one of these teams out are the Marlins. They were close, and then they pooped the bed last year at the very end because their best pitcher got hurt. They wound up getting into the playoffs, last second, but their best pitcher was hurt, and they didn't really do anything. The Marlins are one of those teams, though, that could knock off the Reds or the Padres.
So that's who I had in my final spot, was the Marlins.
I just love their pitching. I can't guarantee that they're going to hit the ball, though. And really, until they get a new stadium, they're not going to do it.
Mm.
So in your case, it was.
So I have the Braves, I have the Brewers, Diamondbacks, and then as wild cards, I have the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Marlins.
So the Braves, the Brewers, the Diamondbacks.
Yep.
The Phillies,
Dodgers, Marlins.
Phillies, Dodgers, margin. All right. I'm hanging this up on my wall here so that Dodgers as a wild card and the Marlins. And who has and what does?
So he has Atlanta, Brewers, Dodgers winning. And then wild cards are Mets, Philly, and Diamondbacks.
So Atlanta, how about that? All of us think the Brewers. That means they ain't got a chance.
Right?
And then Mets, the Phillies, and Diamondbacks. All right.
We'll see.
Yes, we will. So, and this was Robert, because I put these on the wrong, put them on the back of the wrong ones. Let me see. This one had to be Robert too, right? Yep. That's Robert. Because that's me. All right. Now I got it set up. And we'll see at the end of this how many people are right, how many we got right. We do have a lot in common. Like I said, it's the Brew Crew. Everybody's got the Brew Crew winning. I don't think there's any chance now that they win. No chance.
No, anytime there's a clean sweep for a team, that's the kiss of death every time. So if you're a Brewers fan, sorry.
We also took the Braves.
Yeah, I mean, the Braves are like, we don't expect them to do anything in the playoffs, right? We're just talking about getting there. So,
yeah.
So I'll definitely take the Braves in the regular season. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it sucks because we have the Braves to start off.
Okay.
And that's I'm not a fan of that. I would rather play them later in the year.
Yeah.
When is the latest that we play them? The last time we play Atlanta this season is a 4-game home set in August, the end of August. Yeah, we play the Mets 7 times in September and Washington and Miami, but not. Yeah, it's a shame because I don't like the way they do this new schedule. I liked it when there was 17 games between division rivals. Now there's only 13 games. So it's like you get 3 series against them and 1 4-bang series. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. You know what I mean? And then everybody else you get, so 13, 13, 13, 13, and then everybody else is 3-game series. Get 1 series against them, I think. I think that's how it works, right? In the NL, we get 1 home, 1 away, and then you split between out of conference, but you play every team in the West or in the AL, 1 series, half home, half on the road.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. But
I don't know. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, you know what I do?
As a Mariners fan, I hope Rob is right. I don't feel good about it, but I hope he's right.
There ain't no chance Rob is right there. No chance. Just letting you know that right away.
The odds are low. The odds are low. But
right. But it's now there on the board. Put it on the board, and I want my pizza with gold flakes.
That's right. You know what he's going to do? He's going to send you a microwave pizza and dump some Goldschlager on the top of
it. Not even dump the Goldschlager on there. He's going to pick the flakes out of the Goldschlager.
and a couple of them.
That'd be a waste of good alcohol on his side.
Yep. Well, I think he would just take enjoyment out of sending you a soggy pizza.
By the time it got here, it would be dry or moldy.
It'd probably be that.
It's okay. Yeah, we don't go up to Seattle this year, so there's no Seattle trip for me this year.
That's too bad.
It is. Fred Barron and Goldschlager.
There we go.
That sounds like a night on the town.
That sounds terrible.
Oh my God. In such a bad way. It'll be so much better when there's actually stuff going on. You know, it's like it's been such a fight to try to, get anything happening here in sports whatsoever, but there's nothing going on. It really sucks. I hate it when there's nothing going on in sports.
Yeah, it's weirdly dry, right? Like hasn't even in March Madness, there hasn't been anything really noteworthy. Yeah.
Except the women having to change hotels because they were called
exactly.
they were racist slurs.
Yeah.
It's like, and really, are we there? Are we still there? Like
it would appear. It makes no sense, but
and it makes me wonder, like, I see now I have to see this story. I got to see like what's happening with that, because said her team experienced a series. Lynn Roberts said her team experienced a series of racial hate crimes after arriving at the first NCAA tournament hotel and was forced to change hotels during the event for safety concerns. Roberts revealed what happened after Utah lost to Gonzaga in the second round of the NCAA on Monday. Now, Gonzaga, that's your way, right?
It is. Yep.
Okay, so we're talking about your neighbors here.
Yep.
In the second round of the NCAA on Monday, Roberts didn't go into detail, but said that there were several incidents that happened last Thursday night after the team arrived in the area for the tournament and were disturbing to the traveling party to the point where there were concerns about safety. They was staying about 30 miles away in Coeur d'Alene,
Idaho.
Okay.
Yep.
And was really, so this was in Idaho, not really in Washington.
Yep.
Interesting.
Well, so Coeur d'Alene and Spokane, Washington are like a 25-minute drive from each other. Like they're really close.
Got you. crimes towards our program was incredibly upsetting for all of us. In our world in athletics and in the university settings, it's shocking. There's so much diversity on a college campus, and you're just not exposed to that very often.
Yeah.
Utah, South Dakota State, and UC Irvine were all staying at the hotels in Idaho, even with Gonzaga as the host school, because of a lack of hotel space in the Spokane area.
Yep. Which is fair. There's not a ton of hotels in Spokane. There's some that are right on the river in the middle, but beyond that, like there's not a ton. And the ones that are there because of the convention center that's right there in the middle of town. So, yeah, interesting that they had to go all the way to Coeur d'Alene. But again, it's not like it's crazy far away from the city.
So they're saying this is far-right extremists have made a presence in the region. In 2018, at least 9 hate groups operated in the region of Spokane and northern Idaho, including Identity Evropa, Proud Boys, Act for America, and America's Promise Ministries. So that's where they're saying that this came from. It came from like the Proud Boys and
Proud
stuff
Boys
like
make
that.
sense. They're generally a bunch of douchebags. So,
yeah, because I got to imagine. Listen, I don't know enough about Washington, but yeah, my thought is that the Seattle area is very leftist, very leftist.
yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, so our state is divided by the Cascade Mountain Range. Everything west is very blue. Everything right is very red.
Got you. That makes sense. I mean, if you talk about Pennsylvania in the right way, it's like you look at where the blue is in comparison to the red. The blue is in the cities. That's it.
Yep.
Everything else in the state is red, and that's part of what's going on. But
Well, and I
it's a
mean,
shame.
when you look at Washington State, right? Everything that's on the West Coast is, big cities and tech, all of that. And then when you look at Eastern Washington, you're looking at agriculture.
Can't wait for KP to show up in Philly.
Yep.
Yeah, I can believe that. And like I said, it's the population. So.
Yep.
Of the DC Defenders. Hey, listen, I hope you can get there without using 695.
That's right.
Can't get there via 695. Don't go through Baltimore that way. Get on 95. They have a little bit of a traffic issue.
Yeah, the bridge is closed for the foreseeable future.
Wonder how quickly you think that they'll get that bridge rebuilt.
That'll take some time because of the length. So one, they got to do all the cleanup, but what I was reading is that's about a 2-mile bridge.
Yeah, that's a big one then, because it really, I mean, that looks like the biggest swash is of that in that area between the two. So I got to imagine, and they're not able to do that the same way. So they got to tear down that concrete barrier.
Yeah,
and
it'll
redo it
require
all
an
now.
entirely new engineered bridge because that was built back in the 70s. So there's no way the way it was designed then would fly today.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I would bet that is at a minimum a year. I would bet it's longer than that because that's a bridge that probably wasn't on the radar as far as redesigning and building. So that's a situation where they're probably starting at ground zero. I could see that thing taking a couple of years.
Yeah. And I don't know of anything else that, like, so when 95 went down, they were able to get it up in like 2 weeks' time.
Sure.
I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. Tough one.
I mean, it's just so long. I mean, that's going to be the hardest part about it.
Yeah, and there's no way to even circumvent it because you have all the ports in that area. So
Man.
That's funny. Yeah, Kenny Pickett can't drive nothing. Yeah, like I said, I thought it was the guy who was driving the boat that did that Costa cruise. Scagnetti.
Come off. Man, that's awesome.
But yeah, the Kenny Pickett. Yeah, listen, you can give all the hate to Kenny Pickett you want. He's going to be great at carrying a clipboard.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, water taxi business, probably not a bad plan.
Yeah, there's no driving. You're not getting any drives from Kenny Pickett. So, yeah, I was surprised about that myself, actually. So you're right there with it. I was like, and the Eagles even asked for it. I think they got gaslit, really. That they were saying, oh, they're going to wind up doing, this much, and then, oh, damn, I'm getting messages left and right over here. Damn it. People are like all over, like, hey, because all because of so tomorrow morning I have to film down at the old. We're going to stand around the old home plate of Veterans Stadium.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're going to be filming something for MLB Network.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So,
what time you get to do that?
8:30 in the morning.
Oh wow.
So lucky me.
You going to be all painted up by then?
I will have to be.
Okay. All right.
That's because they don't want Jamie down there.
That's right.
They want the Philly sports guy.
So you're going to do the show painted up then?
No, I'll probably be back in time to shower it off.
Okay.
At least I hope so. If not, then I will definitely be painted up. And then redo it again on Thursday, where I have an interview at 6 in the morning, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Down at Citizens Bank Park, and it could be pouring rain.
Gonna have to put some of that water sealer on there so the paint doesn't wash off.
So, bam, bam. All right, I don't know of any of this, so.
I like that Rob is just burning the Steelers to the ground here.
I like it.
Can have his first losing season and retire.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen, too. Actually, he's probably going to win 9 games still.
Yeah.
So, get Rob on Twitch. That's just what he needs. He needs a Twitch.
Right?
He's a Steelers guy. That's what he is. He's a Steelers fan over here.
No, that's perfect because Rob's a Seahawk fan. So
there we go. Fights between our fans. I even love that. That's even more perfect.
I like it.
Come on the Hater Show on April 1st. It's all going to be there.
See, that's where you need to be able to have gifts in the comments here, because then he can just come back with the night at the Roxbury. Emilio.
That's awesome. April 1st. That's right. April 1st. Come on down.
That is April 1st.
Under the Hater Show.
Absolutely.
And you could shade hate on one of our fans. I'm okay with that. We're getting out all our feelings on April 1st. That's right. The big deal. We are going to let you run the show. All the haters.
So
come on.
We do have the link for you there, Emilio.
Here, let me see if I can pull it up.
Oh yeah, drop it in the comments.
I might be able to do that. Give me a second. I got to find it in a different way and type it out, because if I go off, I would go off of the.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, it does. It would go off the show. So
I forget where you sent me the link. That was text, right?
yeah, but here I got it right here. StreamYard.com/.
Oh, I'll drop it real quick. I got it already.
Well, now so do I.
Oh, okay. Well, then you can. There you go.
I spelled it wrong.
Okay.
StreamYard spelled correctly, but that's the rest of the. Yeah, not StremaYard. We were close. But yes, that's the way to do it. StreamYard.com, April 1st. Let's see. Oh, this is.
There we go.
This is a good one. I'm glad I looked at this. This came out 16 hours ago. Giants owner John Mara told Saquon Barkley his decision to choose Eagles made him sick. Riley, you can self-promote. We're okay with that.
Yeah, doesn't hurt our feelings.
Yeah, we don't.
We're on here every day.
We are. Yeah, we're always friendly to all the shows because, listen, when there's no sports to talk, all we do is talk bullshit.
Yep.
And this is part of it.
We appreciate the support. Like we're not mad that other people have shows. There's enough viewers for everybody to get watched.
Exactly. I mean, right now it shows that we have 32 viewers watching. I'd be willing to bet that is lying. This has not been one of our greatest shows.
Yeah, I mean, we had Lloyd up here saying our stream sucks.
He was right. Yeah, I can't really argue with him here.
Yeah, no, it's accurate.
Today's been a tough day. Trying to think of all the things that we could be talking about here. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, you have to battle through. You have to battle through some of these, especially when there's not a lot going on. Because I mean, it's not like you can leave a TV channel blank, right? So I mean, you got to put something on the air.
Steel Pirate Media.
All right.
How about that? There's not many Pirates fans out there. And listen, the one thing that you don't have in there is, the Steel Pirate Penguin.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. I hate the Penguins. But if you want to check him out, there he is. Bam. We're gonna give him some love.
There we go. Thanks for jumping in.
And he's talking the ECU Pirates.
Okay.
Not even the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're not a big hockey group. That's a shame. Because I tell you, half of Pittsburgh hates me because of the Flyers. They love to hate me. And I also did a fantastic dance on a terrible towel one time. It was like doing the cucaracha on that terrible towel. People were not happy in Pittsburgh. And he's from North Carolina, no less. Here we go. Look at that. Pittsburgh fan in North Carolina. Gotta love it. Yeah. Hey, anyways, I know we got 15 minutes left, but we're going to call this show to a grinding halt because I tell you, I got to imagine people's ears are bleeding after listening to us talk about nothing for this whole time.
2 hours, nothing.
Exactly. Like there are times when we talk about stuff like yesterday. Yesterday was a good show. We talked about sports the entire time.
Yep.
This time, it's been a fight to talk about anything. It's like, yeah, Otani, and the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, and Otani was rough because that's what we talked about yesterday at nauseum. So it's like, okay, well, we didn't really have a lot to add because there wasn't really new information.
So tomorrow we will talk about, hey, what's happening with MLB films. I will have a better answer on that. We will find out more about what's happening with Otani.
Yep.
I'll be able to get some of that figured out here as well, because I'm sure, like, they're going to have to do things very quickly with this. They got to get this figured out. They don't want this to go into the season, I got to imagine. And the season begins on Thursday/Friday. So I got to imagine this is all. But, and yeah. And like I says, I'm getting everybody, and they know that I do a podcast from 12 to 2. Everybody wants to call and text.
Yep. No, that's like when you have a buddy give you a call during the middle of the day. They're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" It's like, "I'm working." The hell, right? Like, what do you think I'm doing? What are we all doing this time of the day?
Except you, obviously. Yeah, you obviously are not. But, anyways, so. Listen, we will be back tomorrow with all the different stuff. Yes, we will tell Rob. I think he's seeing all of your messages right here. So
for sure. And then, yeah, I mean, follow us on Twitter as well.
Yeah, exactly. I know I just got the message that he is following me on Twitter, so I appreciate that, Emilio. And April 1st, come on. Just come on, and we'll find out what are the things that you hate. You don't have to hate us. You could hate something, and you need to get it out. That's going to be the day to do it. We're going to give everybody 3 minutes of time. Everybody gets 3 minutes of time that day.
Okay.
Only 3 minutes.
Well,
and I can't guarantee that we're going to show everybody's face. And the reason, there's a lot of reasons for that.
Well, I think some people probably don't want to show their face.
Well, they would be able to do it on their end, but I'm going to have to stop the cameras on a lot of these. I will tell you that the first time I ever did a show where I had people call into my show, I had one young kid who was really excited to show off his Johnson.
Oh.
Yeah, it caught me off guard. I'm like, what the hell is that? And then I'm like, oh. And like literally, I was quick to get it off. And then he tried to do it again. I'm like, listen, you're not going to get me twice there, dummy. You know what I mean? Listen, you got me one time. Be happy you got me once. And then he was trying, and then I had to block him because he's like, oh, okay, now you're going to try to get everybody else to do it? Yeah, get off my page now, weirdo.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that is one good thing about the platforms we're on. If somebody does sneak something in, we don't have the FCC issues that you would on network TV. But
correct.
But still nothing that you want on the show.
Yeah, I don't need to see anybody's Johnson. Nobody's log is any bit worthwhile seeing here. Go to OnlyFans.
Right.
You know, stuff like that. But in the meantime, everybody, thank you very much for hanging with us today. We will see you tomorrow at the same time. You know, come join us at noon, and we'll have more to talk about, I promise, tomorrow, because I'm going to have a lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow.
Yep.
Everybody, and if you're hang out a little bit longer for football talk with Bo. Is that happening a little later?
No.
Or you were just sharing it.
Yeah. Oh, no. That was my Twitter.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants to hate on me on Twitter, I do spend a fair amount of time on there.
There we go. Perfect. Make it happen.
That's right.
Everybody, thank you very much, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.
Take it easy, guys.